anyone to be an initiating guru. He continues to refer to his disciples as deputies, Ritviks. Despite Srila Prabhupada saying, "I have stopped for the time being, I have deputed my disciples, and this condition to initiate is not good," still all the disciples made at that time were considered his. What's more, he asked Tamal Krishna Maharaj, "This initiation, I have deputed my disciples. Is it clear or not?" His Holiness's answer, "It's clear." From this exchange, it appears that the concept of Ritvik was something that had been repeatedly discussed, and Srila Prabhupada was asking Tamal Krishna Maharaj to question him further on it if there was any confusion in his mind. Apparently there was not. And yet, later in the Pyramid House talks, Goswami Maharaj claims to have been confused about Srila Prabhupada's intentions. Tamal Krishna Maharaj has nevertheless admitted in the Pyramid House talks that Srila Prabhupada only appointed Ritviks. Thus it appears that this system had been put in place indefinitely for would-be disciples until someone proved to be a qualified acharya. There is no other natural or logical conclusion to be made. An example of a Ritvik system. There are a few interesting examples of Ritvik systems in Vaishnava history, one of which may be mentioned at this time. In an article called Declaration of the Spiritual Succession of Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat, one of the last lectures given by Srila B.R. Sridhar Maharaj, a book called Sermons of the Guardian of Devotion, he outlines a succession which involved appointing Ritviks for carrying on the process of initiation. He admits to having Sri Sundar Govinda Maharaj the of the Mat, meaning the managerial control. Then he states that he is giving him full responsibility of giving Harinam, Sannyas, etc.
as an acharya of this mat on behalf of myself. He goes on to say, "With this I transfer these beads, and from now he will do behalf as Ritvik." The Ritvik system is already involved both here and also in the foreign land. The Ritvik is the representative. So if you take from me, and you take by his hands, then it will be as well and as good as taking from me. In the Mahamandal, the world, this Mahamandal in Sanskrit refers to the world, Sagar Maharaj, formerly Akshayananda Swami, and many others, they are also Ritvik of Swami Maharaj. As I mentioned here, this is how Srila Prabhupada is known in the Gaudiya Mat. And also myself. They may do so. But in this Mat, he, Govinda Maharaj, will be the representative. Henceforth, he will represent me in this affair, beginning from today's function. Now I shall go from here, and he will do the necessary. On my behalf, he will give Harinam, Diksha, Sannyas, and everything. Although we have had our differences with Srila Sridhar Maharaj, this situation invites comparison with ours in 1977. Srila Prabhupada clearly gave the managerial authority of the society to the GBC in his will, and he appointed Ritviks to initiate on his behalf due to being physically incapacitated. This was also the situation with Srila Sridhar Maharaj. According to the desire of my divine master, he says, I have been maintaining this disciplic succession, but it is no longer possible for me, as I am now too old and invalid. He even states that Akshayananda Swami and other Prabhupada disciples associated with him are Ritviks, even after the departure of Srila Prabhupada. Of both Srila Prabhupada and Srila Sridhar Maharaj. They are also Ritvik of Swami Maharaj and also myself. He then further amplifies, henceforth, he, Govinda Maharaj, will represent me in this affair. Henceforth literally means from this time on. Thus, he has indicated, as Srila Prabhupada did, that this arrangement would continue indefinitely. It is doubtful that Sridhar Maharaj would institute a Ritvik system or that he would speak of its known and acceptable to the Gaudiya Sampradaya.